We all understand that under our current constitution, our government has a legal mandate to govern. However, if you actually look at the situation with regards to how they are elected, this can be disputed when it comes to the citizens of the country. And I will give you a breakdown of the voter turnout from 1994 to the last elections, both for local government elections as well as national government elections. And it's clear that the government, with the people of South Africa, has lost the mandate to govern. And this is why it will be far more difficult for them to implement any of their laws, because they do not have the majority backing of the people. And when the government does not have the majority backing of the people, it becomes more and more difficult for them to do things like forcing you to register your borrel, your solar panels on your roof, getting rid of the green barcoded ID, just mentioning a couple of things that has people furious around the country. So if we look at the national elections, if we look at 1994, call it the honeymoon era within South Africa, no matter how you are politically affiliated, the perception in the country then was that everyone was happy, everyone wanted to take part, and we didn't have a voters' roll then. So there were estimates that in 1994, 86% of people that were eligible to vote, actually turned up to vote. Now that is a massive margin in any country in the world. So that is practically a miracle, because there are many countries around the world where the voter turnout is extremely low, even below 50%. However, they have different systems to ours. So let's go to how it drops from there. In 1999, 71.7%. So down from an estimate of 86. So a huge plunge. So 86% was probably overestimated at the time. Very strong chance that that was an overestimate. 2004, huge plummet to 63.6%. Now that is massive. These are eligible voters. If you look at the official registered voter turnout, then we're looking at 76.7%, and 1999, 89.3%. So that is also a huge total of people registered to vote. But it's the eligible voters that matter. In 2009, we're looking at 65.3%, a slight increase, and 77.3% in the officially registered voters. So at that specific stage, there was definitely a noted increase in the amount of voters. That was for the 2009 elections. And you guys should know what happened during that time with Thabo Mbeki, etc. So a fascinating time in South African history, and Jacob Zuma coming into office. Then 2014, plummet from 65% to 57% eligible voters. So now you're still about 50%, not that great, but the officially registered voters were at 73.5%, the lowest it's ever been. So it's dropped now from 89 to 76, 77, 73, and then the shocker, 2019. In 2019, even although we had much more eligible voters, and when you actually look at the amount of voters and the increase with the amount of voters, it is quite scary how these numbers have climbed in that short space of time. But we dropped below 50% for the first time with regards to eligible voters. And, you know, the government said we still had 66.1% of registered voters voting, so they weren't worried. They should have been worried. I made videos at the time where I said that we had a problem in 2019. And the fact that we dropped below 50% then was a huge problem. 2020, I made many videos talking about the legitimacy of the government that is in question right now. Okay, now the last elections, 41% of eligible voters. Now that is a crisis, a democracy crisis and a constitutional crisis, because our constitution allows us to go to almost zero voters and still have elections. It's absolute madness. There is no limit whatsoever. That you actually tell the parties, listen, you need to convince more people to vote, or you need to change the structures within which you're voting, or change the people so that the people of the country actually want to come out. We have none of that. I don't think they ever thought that we would get this bad, but this is how pathetic the party political system has been. And you cannot just blame the African National Congress. Every one of the parties in Parliament, they were supposed to get more people to the polls. They have failed, all of them, because every party has a right to go out and get more people to the polls. They are getting taxpayers' money to do so. 58.6% of the registered voters. That is an absolutely devastating statistic. But it gets worse. It gets a lot worse with the local government elections. So 1995, 1996, when those elections took place, the eligible voter turnout 48%. 48.1% of officially registered voters. It was the first one. So the percentage would be more or less the same based on the voters' roll. 2000, the next one, dropped from 48% to 34.9%. This is the eligible voters. The registered voters remained at 48%. Also the following year in 2006 remained at 48.4%, up slightly, and then still dropped to 34% in 2006 for the eligible voters. Then 2011 and 2016 were at big jumps. So people were really interested now in what was going on, especially during the tenure of Jacob Zuma. People got involved, and we had 42.8% turnout. 42.8%, a big jump, but still way below half. I mean, that is crazy in a democracy, any kind of democracy. With registered voters at 57.6%, the next year 57.9%. So 42.8 and 44.8, both increases from 2011 to 2016. People very interested in voting at the time, but most people not registered to vote. Not interested in the system, taking part in the system. Then 2021 arrived. This was the death blow. And this year is going to be really interesting. Because the parties will say, yippee-ki-yay, we're going to get lots more people coming out to the polls, etc. 2021, 28.1%, down from 44.8%. The registered voters down from 57.9% to 45.86%. This is a democratic crisis. And because of this, the government, their mandate is gone. They don't have a mandate to govern. They need to look introspectively at themselves and say, listen here, guys, we're in trouble. These people are going to moor us, and we are going to get there. And later I will be doing, at 7 o'clock tonight, I'll be doing a live stream on how to prepare in this period, in the build-up to the 30th of June. So look out for that live stream at 7. It might be 8 o'clock, but look out for that live stream where I will discuss how the people of the country are so gutful right now, and they don't believe in the electoral system. They don't believe in this governance system, and these idiots in government are carrying on as if there is no crisis. This is a massive crisis. 28.1% of eligible voters, 45.86% of registered, less than half. It's a flippant travesty, an absolute travesty. Then, if you look at whether a government has a mandate to govern, with this level of voter turnout, firstly, tell me in the comments how you feel. But this is the reality, okay? We have no limit. None. From a strictly legal and constitutional standpoint, yes, the South African government has a clear and complete mandate to make laws and enforce restrictions. However, from a political and sociological standpoint, and this is what I will talk about later in that live stream, the low voter turnout creates a severe crisis of democratic legitimacy. If people don't take part in a democracy, it's not a democracy anymore. So we do not have a democracy. I've been saying that over and over. We do not conform to the requirements of what a democracy needs to be. The distinction between how the law views the government's mandate versus how the low turnout affects it politically, political authority breaks down as follows. Okay, the rule of law. Section 1 of the Constitution establishes South Africa as a democratic state based on universal adult suffrage and a common voter's roll. Okay? No turnout threshold. The Constitution does not require a minimum percentage of eligible voter turnout. None. A quorum for an election to be valid. Nothing. So what if one freaking person turns up? What are they going to do? Our Constitution allows it to go to absolute rat shit. The legislative process, any parliament or municipal council duly elected under the rules of the IEC possesses 100% of the legal authority to pass legislation, levy taxes, and impose restrictions. How is this okay? How can our Constitution allow this to be okay? These bastards that are in government right now are sucking us dry, stuffing up the country, and they have already proven how shit they are because the people won't even go and vote for them. The people have rejected them, the entire system. It is done. They have already rejected it. And you will see at the local government elections the same thing. Then proportional representation. Power is calculated based on strictly on the votes actually cast. Legally, a citizen who chooses not to vote is considered to have voluntarily waived their input. In many South American countries, it is actually mandatory to vote. You are forced to go and vote. In our country, that silent vote tells you a lot. The crisis of political legitimacy, and this is the crux of this video. And I really want you to like this video, share it with as many people as possible, subscribe to this channel as I give you the raw data, the raw facts on the ground, the things that matter, that the media will not talk about, that the parties will not talk about, that the other podcasts that are just flippin' entertainment will never talk about, because they are flippin' useless and they have funders. They drive their agendas to push certain political parties, when we need to push for the system to be changed. While the legal mandate is undisputed, we all understand that the fact that only 41% of eligible adults voted nationally in 2024 and only 28% voted locally in 2021 undermines the government's moral and political authority in several ways. The silent majority in 2024 national election, over 23 million eligible adults did not vote, while only 16.3 million did. How can you claim that you have legitimacy when that is the case? This means the laws governing the country are being chosen by a distinct minority of the total adult population. This is not democracy. Law enforcement and compliance. Political scientists often note that when a government lacks a broad popular mandate, citizens feel less buy-in towards the state. That's happening now. People are telling them to stuff off. Cyril gives his speech the day after. People are in the streets again, telling him he must go stuff himself. This can manifest as widespread non-compliance. Yippee-ki-yay. It's happening everywhere at the moment, such as tax revolts, e.g. refusing to pay municipal rates or e-tolls, and increased localized service delivery protests, which is happening non-stop at the moment. The rise of coalitions, the collapse in turnout directly correlates with the ruling ANC losing its absolute majority, the resulting government of national unity at a national level and highly unstable coalitions at a municipal level mean that the mandate to make laws is no longer held by one party but must be constantly negotiated. Ultimately, while the government has every legal right to govern and restrict citizens, the low turnout means it operates with diminished political capital, making the enforcement of those laws much more difficult in practice. And this is why I said before, We are the government. The citizens, in the end, this proves it. Because the citizens have decided we don't want to take part in the system. And what happens very, very soon, because you are looking at the legal framework, is people just decide, I don't care about your laws, I want to get rid of you. And then these people need to run for the hills or for other countries. So tell me in the comments how you feel about our government's legitimacy. I will give you the breakdown of these government elections so that you can go and look at them. Just understand that we don't have a democracy at the moment. A democracy means that the government delivers the services the people ask for, and the people support the laws that they impose on the citizens. This is not the case at the moment. At the moment, our government is implementing things like Agenda 2030. Helen Zille said recently, all we need to do instead of BEE is to implement Agenda 2030. Where does Agenda 2030 come from? It comes from who? The United Nations. Are the United Nations elected by us? No, absolutely not. What does it mean to implement the 17 Sustainable Development Goals? Population control, digital IDs, drones in the sky, planes flying around with cameras watching your every move. People getting rid now of our stickers in the car. We'll still do a video on that. For your car license, everything becoming digitized so that your car can be tracked. Putting chips in your license plate. I don't want to live in that reality, and I hope you don't either. And if you do, maybe you should not be on this channel. Tonight, I will do a live stream where I will talk about the things that you need to consider before, in the build-up to the 30th of June. There's a lot that I will discuss there. And especially for the members on this channel, you'll enjoy the information that I bring to you. It's very much in touch with the Citizens Empowerment Training. And those of you that want to do Citizens Empowerment Training, it is for free. And it is not ridiculous. It is absolutely necessary. You can go to beyondpolitics.co.za. The link is in the description below this video. And you can go and apply for it. It's free. So just understand, we are going through a phase now of transition. Many people are asking and calling for our president to be elected directly, for our MPs to be elected directly, so we can hold them to account. In the current system, they are not held to account. We can literally have almost no one voting, and they will still have a legal mandate. How is that not a flaw in our constitution? Our constitution needs to be improved and upgraded to one where we run the country, where we have the control, not the party gang system. I really want to thank you for watching this video. Please share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to like so that more people can watch it. And just remember, it is important that we stay as free as possible. The right to choose is crucial, and our politicians are busy taking those rights away. They have a very, very little time left. Their goose is cooked. The government is collapsing. Their economy is collapsing. The taxpayers that fund them cannot anymore. They have choked us to death, and now they are going to die. Thanks so much for watching. Till the next video.